Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Did you watch the WNBA draft lottery on Sunday evening? If you did, put a thumbs up in the comments. And if you watched it with me and with the Adrienne Ross Show family, put a star in the comments because you're a rock star for hanging out with us. So we're going to talk about that lottery and one topic in particular. But first, I want to explain something because I think I had maybe one or two people during the live stream of the lottery who thought that we were gathering on Sunday for the actual WNBA draft. No, that will take place in April, assuming there is a 2026 WNBA season. We know the whole CBA situation. So what it is it's to determine which teams will pick first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And usually it involves players, teams, I should say, that did not make the playoffs, and it has to do with their records over the last two seasons. Now, because of some trades and different things like that, it wasn't just teams that didn't make the playoffs, but it is to determine who gets those top picks. Not going to go through all those rules, but I did want to clear that up. So let's take a look at how that panned out. Who gets to pick first through fifth? So the first pick will go once again to the Dallas Wings. And I say once again because the Dallas Wings got the first pick in 2025. And we know Dallas used that first pick to pick up Paige Bueckers. And the Wings did not have a good season. And the coach that they had is no longer the coach. And so that's number one again. So Paige Bueckers will have a number one pick to play alongside. The number two pick will go to the Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota could have gotten that first pick too. And people were like, oh my goodness, how is Minnesota in it when they had the top record in the entire WNBA? Again, some of these things change because of trades and things like that happen. And so Minnesota, powerful team, assuming it's even going to look the way it looks now, which it probably won't. But the Lynx will have number 2, the Seattle Storm number 3, the Washington Mystics number 4, and the Chicago Sky number 5. So that's what you got there. And lots of speculation on who will be that first pick. And I'm going to deal with that I'm going to deal with that in a separate video, but I'm sort of going to deal with it right now. And we'll expand on that. A lot of people are saying that the Dallas Wings will select AZ Fudd of UConn. AZ Fudd played with Paige Bueckers at UConn. They won a championship together in 2025. And a lot of opinion that they should pick AZ, that they will pick AZ, that they will pick AZ because Paige Bueckers will want them to pick AZ. And if you don't know, some of the reasons why people believe that they're going to pick AZ and that Paige wants them to pick AZ Fudd is because AZ and Paige Bueckers have revealed themselves in the past to be an item. Now, I'm just going to say this. I don't enjoy talking about this stuff. And I feel like only in the WNBA do you even have these conversations. Like, I'd like to just keep it basketball, but this is the WNBA. And they never just keep it basketball. They throw these things in our face. And so I'm not suggesting that Dallas wouldn't pick AZ Fudd just because it's AZ Fudd and she's a baller. And if they do pick her, I mean, that should be the reason why. But people are not blind, and they're not so naive as to not consider that Paige may want to be on the same team with AZ again because of their relationship. And of course, some people would say, well, regardless of the relationship, that she would want to play with AZ Fudd because they already played together. They have a connection in terms of basketball and all of that. So I'm going to give my opinion. Again, not taking away from AZ Fudd's talent and how well she has played with Paige Bueckers in the past. But I'm going to say, I hope, I really do. And you can say you disagree, and that's okay. But I'm still saying what I got to say. I hope that the Dallas Wings will not pick AZ Fudd. I'm not even sure she's the definite number one pick anyway. Like I said, I'm going to deal with who might be number one in a separate video. It's not like last year. Last year, it was like, yeah, it's Paige Bueckers. It's not like that yet. It's early in the NCAA season anyway, and there's no runaway for number one in this season as at this time as there was in the past. So I'm not sure they pick her anyway. But I would still suggest, and this is where the cultural aspect comes in. We have said the same thing when it came to DeJounte and Alyssa Smith, that even on separate teams in the same league, but on separate teams, there were problems because of the relationship of those two. And it came into play where, at least for Alyssa Smith, I think that it affected her reasoning and her thinking in terms of how she treated her own teammate, getting on social media, making fun of something that happened to her own teammate because of this relationship within the league. It wasn't even on the same team. And then they were on the same team. And we had this whole conversation about that. How will that play out? Especially when you look at a DeJounte, who seems to be, from what we have seen from some things, really immature, and Alyssa Smith, who seemed really immature and seemed to be sort of like, sorry, on a leash, right? So we say we don't know that's a good thing. And many of you feel very adamant about that people in a relationship, again, can't believe we're talking about this, but anyway, they shouldn't be on the same team. It's too much of a conflict, right? You had DeJounte on social media talking smack about how the coach, how the team was treating Alyssa Smith. You had Alyssa Smith trying to step in when playing against DeJounte, trying to step in, like maybe kind of like step into her own teammates, going on behalf of DeJounte. It just isn't good. And so then you put them on the same team. Now you got to go, okay, what happens if the closeness they have off the court falls apart? And now you're in a situation in a professional league where you're trying to navigate all those things. And so with Paige and with AZ Fudd, people are already like having conversations and things about their relationship and all this stuff, when this is a professional basketball league. So no, I don't think that she and AZ Fudd should be on the same team. I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's the culture that you want in a league. Again, this is the WNBA. So it's a whole different, you don't hear about this kind of stuff in the NBA. Now, for those of you who would say, well, it didn't hurt the culture at UConn, they won a championship together, etc. Well, I would still venture to say it probably shouldn't have been a thing in the NCAA either. And I'm sure there are teams that have a rule that says, we don't do that on our team. We're not doing that. I'm sure I've heard of that happening. And some would say it shouldn't even happen in the whole league. So it probably shouldn't have happened in NCAA. But even if it did in college at UConn, and even if it worked for them, the WNBA is not UConn, right? Dallas is not Connecticut. No other coach is Gino Auriemma. It's a whole different level in the WNBA. And there's a whole lot more drama that is in the WNBA that seems to be encouraged in the WNBA, and that seems to just grow. We know that that's true. A lot of the conversations surrounding the WNBA ain't even about basketball. Excuse my bad English. So we can't say, well, it was okay over here, it's going to be okay in the WNBA. Totally different. The WNBA is not like anything, and nothing is like the WNBA. So that's just my perspective. Again, a separate video on who might be the number one pick. I don't know for sure that it's AZ, but some people are saying if Paige wants it to be AZ Fudd, it'll be AZ Fudd, because Paige is going to be the face, if not already, the face of the Dallas Wings. Who knows if Arike Agumbawale is going to still be on the team? Is she still the face of the team right now? I don't know. And we don't know what's going to happen. But my suggestion would be to steer clear, way clear of bringing in this whole thing with relationships. I think it spells trouble. And some of you will disagree and you will say, well, I think it spells camaraderie and a connection on the court that's good, and that it's about basketball and they can handle it. Or even if it's not about basketball, they can handle it and how, whatever. I disagree. But I am interested in your thoughts on it. I don't know that they would change my thoughts on it because I don't like it at all, right? But you're free to get in the comments and say what you think. Is AZ Fudd a viable number one pick? Should Dallas pick her in spite of Paige Bueckers? Or maybe you think Dallas should pick her because of Paige Bueckers. I welcome your thoughts. Never a dull moment in the WNBA. Like I said, another video on other possible first round picks. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.